So last over 30 years, there's a series of discussion with scientists. I think since there's many new people, so 4 fields: cosmology, neurobiology, physics, particularly quantum physics, and then psychology. So after 30 years of serious discussion, it became clear such meeting is mutual benefit. To us, the scientific findings is the cosmology of these things, and also brain, the function of our brain. And still scientists, the brain specialists, still is some kind of dilemma. They say whether there is a third factor, to affect our brain or not. Some scientists now begin to feel, there is some sort of another third factor that we call subtle level of consciousness. Consciousness, grosser level, like sensorial consciousness, are very gross level. Then dream time, another level of consciousness. Then when we deep sleep, more deeper consciousness. Then we faint, at that time, another deeper level of consciousness. The deepest at the time of death. So now here, this is last, I think, over 50 years. Nearly 50 years, there are number of cases, person who passed away for death, after death, physical body remain very fresh. So now some scientists showing interest about that. So some want to carry some investigation, research work. So our explanation is the grosser level of consciousness, or even its more subtle level consciousness, this is when blood circulation ceases, then brain stop or die. So then grosser level of consciousness now no longer function. Now most subtle level consciousness more or less independent. So the person, those persons who clinically dead, but body still remain fresh. So there are some, to scientists, there's something mysterious. According also explanation, and these Buddhist psychology, or Buddhist, according to this science of mind, there is some explanation. So like that, so to us, the scientific finding very, very helpful. As a result of learning from scientific view of scientific finding, the one casualty is they now me no longer believe Mount Meru.
Traditional Buddhist cosmology.
Some Buddhist literature mentioned that. So now some of these authors really, like a Bosbundu, very respected sort of scholar, practitioner. So I said, Bo, because in his name, but respectfully, expressed, I can't accept. You see here, sort of explanation about Mount Meru. It's outdated. So, you see, yesterday also I mentioned, I think one quite a unique thing, Nalanda tradition. We have liberty to reject even Buddha's own word. if that particular subject goes against our investigation or reason, then we have right to watch it. So many Nalanda masters, you see, they carry depth of principle. Because I think yesterday also, I think I mentioned, now to new people, okay, no problem. You know, the Buddha stated, all my followers, monks, scholars, should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation and experiment. So, you see, I also took the liberty to reject. Some old monk, really uncomfortable. When I said, so for example, one time we said, Apollo reached moon. Some picture there. So one occasion I showed that picture to some, my friend, old monk, scholar. And he expressed, oh, this might be some part of Mount Meru. Like that. So in any way, I trained, these books and Buddhist philosophy. I think Buddhist philosophy, like quantum physics, very similar. One, my Indian friend, Raja Ramana, he nuclear physicist. One time he told me, quantum physics in the world, in modern world, is something new concept. But in India, over 2,000 years ago, already developed that concept, he mentioned. It is quite true. When I have more serious discussion with quantum physicists, seems to see very surprisingly very similar like that. So very useful for us. And then, as far as psychology is concerned, the modern scientists, the result of after 30 years of discussion, they found a lot of useful, they found a lot of information about emotion, about mind. So therefore, these texts, you see, now I realize quite useful as far as also this knowledge about consciousness, about mind, about emotion. Then it is quite useful, you see, with fuller knowledge about this whole system of mind or emotion, then much easier to tackle like that. So that should consider science of mind, not religion. Then philosophy, such as quantum physics, is philosophy, not religion. So these texts which we study, we can divide three parts: science part, then philosophy part, then religious part. So religious part only for Buddhist. But two other things, philosophy and the psychology, these are something universal. So I think in modern education, I think can be utilized some of this information, I think. So I don't know about modern education, even you see mathematics way, mathematics difficult. We usually use rosary, some kind of sort of method to count. So very backward. So not a position to give some advice, right? Like that. Then I usually now stressing and I usually make two generations. Two categories of generation. Generation of 20th century, the generation of 21st century. 20th century, my generation belongs to 20th century. That century gone. Past, no force can change past. The future yet to come. So there is possibility change future. That entirely depends on now, present. Although philosophically, like quantum physics, if you analyze, what is present? No present. Year, eon, millennium, then century, then decade, then year, month, week, hour, or day, and hour, minute, second, 1 second, up to 1 second, past, 1 second, not yet come, future. So where is present? If we analyze, we cannot find present. Without present, and how can sort of, how to describe past and future? Past, future entirely depend on the present. The present, then difficult to find. So then, no present, no past, no future. If we analyze, things are analyzed, like so say, any flower or anything, ourselves also, we easily say, now here, for example, Dalai Lama Tensi Gyatso. It is true. Now, this very moment, Dalai Lama Tensi Gyatso is speaking. But if you analyze body of the Dalai Lama, what's mind of Dalai Lama, so the real owner of Dalai Lama, where? Beside body, mind, nothing. Body also, head, hand, this side, and then leg. If you separate, we cannot find body. Finger, upper part, middle, lower. If you analyze, we can't find. So that is similar quantum physics. Now why is it important about that concept is, now destructive emotion, very much based on some kind of exaggeration or mental projection. That mental projection very much based on the feeling of grasping something on the basis of appearances, not reality. So one of my American psychologists, you see, he, after some few decades of his experience, he mentioned that when we develop anger, the object which feels angry, that object appears very negative. But actually, 90% of that negativeness is mental projection, not true. So this very much related with the concept of things. So that things exist as appear. Appearance is independent, so it exists. Investigate, nothing. So that's, you see, so this, our text, quite, so now actually, coming November, we will going to have one sort of seminar with quantum physicists, national level in India. So Jawaharlal Nehru University already sort of said, agree, plan as an host, like that. So some Buddhist philosopher, they say we going to discuss these things. So in any way, so this quite funny. So the subject which I study, and then practice, implement. 80-year-old person. Now, this knowledge about your mind, very useful. And also, very helpful to know that if we investigate, nothing exists independently. That direct sort of, because of the countermeasure for destructive emotion. Really very, very helpful. These things, not talking about heaven, not talking about next life, but this very, very life, day by day, day to day. You see, these concepts, very helpful. And then also, they practice because of the value of compassion. Really, very helpful. I think the best medicine to
make younger.
The medicine, effective medicine, actually not expensive. Medicine sometimes you see quite expensive. So the training of your own mind for compassion. You see, no need doctor, no need medicine, but all of us, you see, have that potential. Realize that. You see, utilize that. Then very, very helpful for healthy body. So then, you see, I was told, whether you see true or not, I'm not very sure. This is some old lady, you see, the
They tie
their hair. So that's helpful to wrinkle reduce. I mean, you said, no worry. Very fresh, very young. So like that, you see, sometimes you see people look as a mirror in your own face. Sometimes you feel, now become too old like that. So you see, if you really serious concern about that, then practice compassion. That directly sort of the effects anger, worry, fear, stress. So very, very helpful. Okay.
Sure, of course. Just hand it to one of the two
So I
by the
very much,
side while we continue the conversation.
so I very much appreciate that this the university already started because of the
Dalai Lama Scholars Program.
and stress about the kindness or compassion. I think I very much appreciate. You see, my university case, just a talk. You see, you are something like hand action. So I very much appreciate it. So therefore now, the generation of 20th century now we more or less gone. The 21st century, just the beginning. So although we can't find, you say, what's the beginning? So now, aside talking about this deeper level of reality, just as a conventional level, yes, we are enjoying because the present, like that. So therefore, you see, the beginning of this 21st century, the generation of 21st century, if you make attempt with vision and realistic approach, then this 21st century will be something extraordinary century. That means continuation of violent century, but this century eventually become peaceful, happy, compassionate century.
Yes.
That we can do. So sometimes I definitely tell people, young people, say, if you make attempt now with vision, then end of this century could be peaceful century. This I will not see. At that time, I may be